This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.
Welcome to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon versus Legends, where we're going to take a deep dive into the lore of the Star Wars universe.
On Histories podcast, where we talk about the Star Wars legend versus canon lore. I'm one of your hosts, Austin, also known as Teacup.
And I'm your other host, Ben of Temeria.
And we are here continuing in our little mini-series on the various species of the Star Wars universe, which I'm sure we will not cover them all in this. Maybe.
Probably not. There's a lot, and there's also a lot that have very little info, because they may have shown up for like a couple episodes in the Clone Wars for the first time, and that's it, kind of a thing. So, but we'll cover like majority of the fan favorites and like the popular ones.
Right. So last time we talked about the Night Sisters and the Night Brothers. And so today, I think we're going to a close cousin of that species.
We are. We are going to be talking about the Zabraks, which, if no one knows, just from the term Zabrak, you've all seen one if you watch the prequel series, or Clone Wars, or Rebels, or, Solo. I was going to say, I know there's one more thing, but Darth Maul. Darth Maul is a Zabrak. Obviously, we see Night Brothers in Fallen Order. We do see them in the Clone Wars as well, which, like Savage Opress.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, we are going to go over Zabraks.
Are Zabraks... Like, are they different than Night Brothers? Are they different?
They are different. And we'll go into that because Zabraks was not the original name for the species. So, to kick things off, we start with legends. So the Zabrak, also known as the Eodorians, were referring to the Zabraks who came from Eodoria, were carnivorous, near-human species native to Eodora, a planet located in the mid-rim known for inhospitable terrain and fierce predatory life. They were a species known to have a fierce sense of self-determination and an equally dominant need for independence. So right there tells you Zabraks, the Zabraks we see that we're going to cover today are going to be different from the Night Brothers, because technically Maul was technically a Night Brother. But that's all in Maul's history.
Well, I think, and because there's so much time between the Phantom Menace and Clone Wars, there's almost 10 years between.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 10 years between the Phantom Menace and Maul's first appearance in Clone Wars. So much has changed about his backstory and his appearance in Canons versus Legends So it's hard to say sometimes. Like there,
Right.
I think even Obi-Wan makes a comment about it. Like Yoda says from Dathomir, this just like Maul. And he's like, I thought Maul came from Iridonia. And Yoda's like, no, another tribe on the planet Dathomir.
Yep. So, yeah. So it gets a little muddled there. So going off now into the biology and appearance. So like I was saying, Zabraks were near human, so they're humanoid. They look similar to, you, me, anyone. But they had a number of significant physical characteristics that set them apart from baseline humanity. The most striking of these were the species of vestigial horns and crowned on their heads of both males and females. These horns grew at puberty and varied patterns and significant. I can't talk today. Signified. Gosh. That the time of their rite of passage was drawing near. So, just like, humans go through puberty, Zabraks do, but they also grow horns during their puberty. The horns were one trait shared by the many Zabrak subspecies, were divided into a number of physical characteristics that differed from the subspecies to subspecies. These include different skin tones, which include peachy white, pure white, yellow, red, tan, brown, and black, horn patterns and sizes, hair growth, though it should be noted that most Zabraks, unlike humans, could not grow eyelashes or facial hair. There were some exceptions, such as Maris Brood and Bordor, who had eyebrows, and eye color, which were certain pigmentation that humans lack, such as purple, yellow, red, and orange. So I never realized that Maris Brood and Bordor have eyelashes.
Yeah,
or eyebrows, eyebrows,
either.
not eyelashes, eyebrows. It's like, I've never... Not to go back and replay KOTOR 2. Or
I haven't even noticed. I didn't even know Maris was a Zabrak.
It's very subtle. Like, you only see like a little bit of her horns during Force Unleashed.
Mm-hmm. Should replay those games.
Oh, they're so good. Those games are so good.
The graphics hurt my eyes sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it was, 2007?
Yeah.
So.
Well, and it really messes with me when... I know this was the thing, but nowadays it really messes with me when the graphics change from cutscenes to gameplay.
Yeah, cutscene to gameplay instead of, being consistent throughout the entire game.
Right.
That's fair. Here's this awesome cinematic cutscene. Here's the gameplay. Oh.
Well, I know JRPGs were terrible about it.
Yeah, JRPGs are a really big hit on that. But, so another of the traits that made Zabraks instantly recognizable were their facial tattoos, which were made of thin lines received during the rite of passage. These could symbolize many things, including, but not limited to, family lineage, place of birth, or even the design that reflected their individual personalities. And then internally, Zabraks possessed a second heart. They also had a great resistance to physical pain. Second heart. Interesting. Granted, I mean, we all know why Maul survived. If you watch Clone Wars, it's through the dark power, the dark side, and his hatred and anger, blah, blah, blah. But you could also put it down to biology at that point.
Well, and let's think about this for a second. I guess it depends. Because if it cauterized, well, I don't know. Because it all depends. Like, if you were cut in half and it was cauterized where you weren't leaving any blood, the only problem you would have is you wouldn't have any way to... You would basically eventually go into septic and die.
True. That is true.
But if its anatomy is different, maybe?
And you also have space magic.
Right, because most of our vital organs, except for our kidneys and the intestines, are above here.
Mm-hmm. Chest height and above. Yep.
Right. Well, I don't know.
Who knows? Zabraks were capable of breeding with humans, and a hybrid subspecies evolved on Dathomir called the Dathomirians, formed from the mating of Night Brother Zabraks and Night Sister humans, which we obviously talked about last week.
Yep.
So now we move on to their personality. So Zabraks were often seen in most species as being single-minded, and observation that was not terribly incorrect. The single-minded determination came from the fact they were a race with a strong sense of self-assurance, confident that they were able to accomplish any task that they set out to do. However, this did not lead a Zabrak to develop a sense of prideful superiority towards others of his or her kind, though it is not uncommon to see competition between colonies. This is not seen in a negative. The Zabraks believed that the various experiences of the different colonies only served to add to the race's overall value throughout the galaxy. And then Zabraks... Well, go on.
I was going to say, I feel like they would get along with the Mandalorians.
Oh, yeah. Well, funny that you say that. If you go and play SWTOR, currently in the newest expansion, during the Legacy of the Sith year, right now with the most recent update, they added new storylines specifically to do all things Mandalorian. There's a Zabrak Mandalorian that you team up with. So, yes, they go hand in hand. And they're the loner too. They like to do things solo.
Right.
Which most Mandalorians like to do things solo anyway. So.
Right.
So Zabraks were proud, strong, and confident beings. They believed that nothing was truly impossible and strove to prove skeptics wrong at every turn. Some Zabraks carried themselves with an air of superiority towards other races, frequently discussing the achievements of their people with pride that could border on arrogance. As warriors or adventurers, Zabraks tended to be dedicated, intense, and extremely focused. And then Zabraks from Iridonia were considered to be more warlike than Zabraks from their colony worlds, most likely due to the rugged terrain that made up their homeworld. As such, they developed a highly physical style of martial arts, which were a requirement for young Zabraks to learn. And it is uncommon for Zabraks from Eodoria to be among the best hand-to-hand fighters and weaponsmiths in the galaxy. Zabraks from the colony worlds also shared the drive for excellence, but encouraged their children to express it in other ways. It is thus not surprising to see that Zabraks met with success in many fields, ranging from medicine to entertainment. So, the homeworld Zabraks are more like what we were saying, like more Mandalorian-like. Mm-hmm. And then the ones in their colonies are more... They put more freedom into their style of teaching and way of life compared to their homeworld versions of themselves. And then Zabraks would commonly take their names from animals native to Iridonia. Many Zabraks families named after Buk, B-U-K-K. Many Zabrak males were named after the Block, Lok, and Zur. Many Zabrak females were known to take their names from Triz.
That's interesting.
So, Bloks are like Banthas. Loks are another version of Banthas on Iridonia. I want to say Zurs, I think, might be the same. No, Zurs are fast-moving insects. And then Triz are... Well, it doesn't say what it is. It's just a species that's known to the planet. They have tooth bantha-like animals that you're named after. I don't know how I would be okay being named after an animal that's similar to a bantha.
I don't know. I mean, I doubt there are many. I doubt there are many children on Tatooine called Bantha Poodoo.
Fair point. That's a fair point. Yeah, definitely would not want to be called that. So now we get into a bit of their history and legends. So according to Asha, the mother machine, the Zabraks were one of her children, quote unquote, synthetic life forms she created under the orders of the Infinite Empire as part of the experimentation of the Rakata hoped would give them insight into the loss of the connection to the Force. This would place the origins of the species sometime between 30,000 and 25,200 BBY. As one of the earliest spacefaring species in the galaxy, the Zabrak played a major role in the galaxy affairs. Like early humans, the Zabraks established many colonies outside their home systems early in their history, such as the planet Iridia. The Eoloman species was believed to some xenoarchaeologists to be descended from Zabrak colonists who settled on Elam in the distant past. By the time the Zabraks encountered the Republic, they had a total of 8 colonies in 5 systems.
Well, way to go.
Right? And
I feel like, do you ever feel like the Rakata are like the Star Wars equivalent of the Protheans?
Oh my god. I never thought about that until you just said, oh my god, that is... Oh, the simulator... Oh, BioWare.
Because they just like...
BioWare just copy and pasted.
They really do just copy and paste.
Here's changing a bit of their history. Oh, here, let's change the name. There we go. New thing for this new thing we made.
There was something I came across in SWTOR that was similar. What was it? It was something else. It was in this podcast. It was about, I can't remember exactly who, if it was the Mandalorians or someone else, but they worshipped the old gods or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, BioWare, come on.
Ripping off of Dragon Age, ripping off of Mass Effect. Oh, wait a minute. BioWare owns all those.
Right. Well, technically, the Rakata were first, so we have to give credit where it's true.
That is true. BioWare copy and pasted Rakata into Mass Effect.
Right. But yeah, like they go around, they have this empire that spans the galaxy. It's supposed to be infinite. They meddle in other species. They,
went extinct long ago.
They're just Star Wars Protheans.
Oh my gosh, I never thought of that. Holy crap.
But weren't actually extinct.
That's true. They were quote unquote extinct, but not extinct. Yeah. So, long ago, the Sith had made contacts with the High Council of Iridonia in order to hire the services of the most talented mercenaries. This influence remained with the Zabraks people long after the Sith were thought to be wiped out at the 7th Battle of Ruusan, though it remained more closely associated with the Zabraks of Iridonia than the Zabraks of the colony worlds. In the time following the formation of the Galactic Empire, the natural strong-willed nature of the Zabrak people allowed them to resist imperial occupation. This defiant spirit continued in the face of various actions that the Empire took against them, including garrisoning all their worlds, destroying their industrial base, and raising taxes that drove them to near poverty. Many Zabraks men and women joined the alliance to restore the Republic to fight back against the Empire. Following the defeat of the Empire at the Battle of Endor, the Zabrak race united as one and joined the fledgling New Republic, determined to never again to put under the oppression that they suffered during the height of the New Order. Yeah. So, that's really what we have in the history of Legends. I mean, there's not a whole lot of history on the people, but the characters, that's a different story that we're about to get into.
Mm-hmm.
So Zabraks in the galaxy, and there's a lot. So during the Old Republic era, Zabrak Bodor served under the Jedi exile during the Mandalorian Wars. He created the mass shadow generator that used to destroy Malachor 5 and helped bring an end to the Mandalorian Wars. He then traveled with the exile in search for the Jedi Masters and likely helped rebuild the Jedi Order after her departure. We have Ko Sin Darch.
Sure.
Kojin Jarch. I want to say words. Star Wars. Not a good mix. Was the Zabrak master of the Jedi Order during the years preceding the Great Galactic War. In 3681 BBY, a legendary Jedi Knight who later held the title Battlemaster, Darch trained a young Jedi Padawan named Satil Shan, and both were present during the Sith Empire, which were believed to destroyed for centuries, launched an assault to retake Korriban. Darch was ultimately killed in battle with the Sith Lord Vindition, and his apprentice Malgus. Because of the Darch's sacrifice, Shan was able to escape and warn the Galactic Republic at the Sith Empire return. So, on that note, one of the trailers, the cinematic trailers they did for Star Wars: The Old Republic, is literally this. You see Satil and her master, Kao Shin, and they battle Malgus and his master, Vindition, and it's an epic trailer. But yes, you do see him. You see him perish, which sucks. But this is also before Malgus gets his face completely destroyed. Mm-hmm. So it's super weird to see him without his mask and see a young face on him. And then among the Sith of the later era was Shirak, a male Zabrak who trained the Sith apprentice at the Academy in Korriban during the New Sith Wars. Shirak was renowned at the Academy for his strength in the dark side and his skills in lightsaber combat. He developed a rival in the fellow apprentice Bane, who Shirak believed was one of the few students that could eventually challenge his place in the Academy. Allies of Shirak were follows Zabraks, and his Sith apprentices Loke and his sister Yivra. Together, Sirak, Loke, and Yuva set a trap to establish the rival Sith Bane. Their plan did not succeed. Which makes sense, because Bane obviously did not die in that.
No.
Then we have Darth Maul, who was an apprentice to Palpatine, who eventually became a Dark Lord of the Sith. Maul was responsible for the death of the Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn, but was seamlessly destroyed by Obi-Wan Kenobi. However, Maul managed to survive the defeat at the hands of Kenobi by harnessing the power of hatred and the dark side. He then united with his brother Savage Opress, and were trained in the ways of the Sith by Count Dooku. Together, they went on a rampage of destruction to try to lure Kenobi into a final duel so that Maul could finally have his revenge. And we also have Eth Koth and Aegon Kolar were two Zabraks that served the Jedi High Council in the period leading to the fall of the Galactic Republic. Koth was notably addition to the Jedi Order, and that born on Nar Shaddaa instead of Iridonia, or one of the colony worlds, was taken as a youngling. When he was older than age of 4, the mental and physical disciplines of his natural Zabrak heritage, along with the potential, allowed him to be an exception to the rule that required Jedi initiates taken into 3 or 4. Kador was killed during the Clone Wars when making an attempt to arrest Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, recently revealed to have been Darth Sidious.
You know, it's really interesting because I always thought that Eth Koth and Aiden Kor were the same person for a long time.
Nope.
But they're not. They just look exactly the same.
Yep. And honestly, the reason probably why they did that is because budget.
Right.
They just didn't want to make too much.
Well, and then Eth Koth makes another appearance in the Clone Wars.
True.
Which I thought he would die there, and that would make sense, but he didn't.
Yeah, I don't think they ever showed his death.
No, they did not.
And then we also have Maris Brood, was a female Zabrak Jedi Padawan who survived the initial stages of the Great Jedi Purge. She spent many years in hiding with Jedi Master Shaak Ti on the planet of Felucia. After her master's death, she was corrupted by the dark side of the Force. Which we fight during Force Unleashed. I almost forgot the name. We fight both Shaak Ti and her apprentice, who turns to the dark side. Yeah, you fight a lot of Rancors in that mission.
Yes,
like a lot. And then during the Legacy era, Zabrak Wolf Sauzen served as Jedi Master who was active during the Sith Imperial War and the subsequent Second Imperial Civil War against Darth Krayt's Galactic Empire. He was Cole Skywalker's Padawan and Jedi Master of Cole's son, Cade Skywalker. However, Sauzen was killed before he could finish Cade Skywalker's training. Yeah.
So sad.
It is. But that's what we have in Legends for Zabraks.
All right. Well, this is a good time for a break.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Hey guys, today I'm interviewing my cat about his perfect bistro food. Percy, you seem to be a big Perfect Bistro fan. Care to comment? Totally. What do you like about it? You love the high-quality ingredients? And the delicious flavors, of course. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Listen to Percy, guys. Visit perfectbistro.com to try it for your cat.
All right, well, welcome to the middle of the show where we talk about all things with the lore of this, or not, that are not about the lore of this show. And we are here to thank our patrons because we love our patrons. Thank you so much for your support. We had a great patron chat last week and hanging out there. Or was that 2 weeks ago? No, that was last week. Right?
Yes, it was last week.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Last week with the patron chat. That was a lot of fun. If you want to join us from there, you can go to patreon.com/holocronhistories and sign up for the $20 tier or higher, and you can join us on Patreon on a month, once a month on the show to talk about a topic that we decide on beforehand. But you can come out, and if you want to talk Star Wars and share Star Wars thoughts with us, we do. We normally just end up talking about a lot of games and our experience in the games, and it's a lot of fun. Other than that, you can leave us ratings and reviews on Spotify or Apple. If you leave us 5 stars and some kind words, we will read them out on a future episode of the show. And then the last thing is just come hang out with us on Discord. You can check us out in the Cups Podcasting and More server or the Robots Radio server. That's where you can find out information about this podcast or other podcasts. You can also hang out and chat with us. Come play SWOTOR. Come hang out. Do whatever. Maybe play Destiny with Ben, if he's nice.
Yeah, I've been playing too much of Destiny right now.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, I think that's all I got for the middle of the show.
Cool.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, and also to remind everyone, we do live stream these episodes every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific on my Twitch channel, Ben of Temeria. And then I also stream my other show, Wizarding World Lorecast, on Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Pacific. But, yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, let's get back to it then.
Cool.
Need a laptop that's built to perform and designed to last all day? Select Windows 11 PCs starting at $499.99 are now at Best Buy. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
So close.
Oh, so close. So now we have the canon of Zabraks, which surprisingly is not a whole lot. So with their history, Zabraks were loyal members of the Galactic Republic during its reign, but immediately opposed to the Galactic Empire upon its creation, with many joining to the Alliance to restore the Republic. Likewise, many Zabraks sided with the Resistance to oppose the First Order after the fall of the New Republic. Because both the Empire and the First Order both hate aliens. Because they're all jerks. Except if you're Thrawn. He's like one of the only exceptions.
Right.
Yeah.
Which never made sense to me, but I think that really just kind of like, I feel like that developed as an afterthought because George Lucas didn't have the budget for that many aliens.
Right. That's true.
Like, I don't know.
Even though it's just, you could paint someone blue. That's basically it.
Right.
But, oh well. So, with their society and culture, all Zabraks were fiercely independent, usually taking the roles in society that minimized their need to order around by others. This was often mistaken by other species for aloofness or arrogance, which was enormous. Although Zabraks were unshamefully proud of being survivors, the majority of Zabraks wore facial tattoos, which often indicated familial ties, which could also simply be based on an individual's personal taste. So very similar to what we have in Legends. They were a colonial species, having migrated and adapted to dominate many worlds. The Zabrak of Iridoria were commonly seen traveling across the galaxy as Jedi, bounty hunters, or other professions. A group of tribal male Zabraks lived on the planet Dathomir, and where they were subsequent to the female Night Sisters, but dwelt separately from them. Much of the Dathomirian Zabraks culture was unknown to outsiders, as they did not trust off-worlders. Which makes sense, because that's where Savage is from. That's where Maul's from. They're from Dathomir. So, now we have Zabraks in the galaxy. So, despite the species being overall loyalty to the Republic, individual Zabraks could be found across the galaxy with a wide range of allegiances, usually in roles of minimal managerial supervision, such as independent traders, mercenaries, bounty hunters, or scouts. One such Zabrak was Sugi, who worked as a bounty hunter during the Clone Wars and taught her niece Yas Imari the same trade. Another member of the Bounty Hunters Guild on the planet of Navarro, criminal pursuits were often attracted to younger Zabraks, and during the Iron Blockade of the Anoit sector, several Zabraks served as a crew for the smuggler who led the uprising against the Imperial Blockade. And that is from the mobile game Star Wars Uprising, which you cannot play anymore, sadly.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
It was a good game. It was like and we've said this I think in 2 episodes ago. Like, the game was very top down, like Diablo-esque style of game, and it was a lot of fun. It was fun.
It was fun.
I only think I think it was only like on the App Store for like a few years, and then they took it down.
Right.
But it is what it is. So several Force-sensitive Zabraks joined the Jedi Order during the time of the Galactic Republic, including Zubin Connery. I think that's how you say his last name. Ethkoth and Agen Kolar. The latter of the two served the Jedi High Council. And controversially, the Force-sensitive brothers Maul and Savage Opreth both served the Sith before independently forming the Shadow Collective, criminal cartel, and briefly ruined the planet Mandalore. Many Dathomirian Zabraks lived on Dathomir, the world which their race was named. They included Night Brothers under the rule of the Dathomirian Night Sister Witch Clan. And then unidentified members of the species can be seen on planets such as Sorgan, while others known to be working for Gor Koresh around 9 ABY. But
interesting.
Yeah. And then we got
some... You can play as Zabrak
in
Battlefront.
Oh, and yeah, SWTOR
in Battlefront 2.
That's true.
Battlefront 2.
I forgot about that.
For both the Resistance and the Rebel Alliance.
Yes. Battlefront 2 and then the first Battlefront as well. The newer one.
Oh.
No one cares for that one. I don't blame anyone. It's just the Galactic Civil War. And it was meh.
And it was only multiplayer.
It was multiplayer only, and we got gypped on the season pass. It's a $50 season pass. Literally gave us 6 maps and like 10 weapons and like maybe 8 heroes.
Right.
We got gypped. And they learned for Battlefront 2 very quick not to have anything paid for. So we do have some behind the scenes. So the term Iridorian is sometimes used to refer to Zabraks and sometimes to a bloodthirsty people, also called the Iridorians. Whether Iridorians are just another designation of Zabrak species, a separate society and culture within the species, similar to Morgokai warrior caste within Nico society, or simply another species also native to Iridoria, remains unclear. As Zabraks were featured as playable species for players who select the Jedi Knight, Jedi Counselor, Sith Inquisitor, Bounty Hunter, Sith Warrior, Imperial Agent, Smuggler, and Trooper classes in Star Wars The Old Republic. With the exception of humans, they are the only species that can be chosen by players of any class without cartel market or legacy unlocks. So they're the humans and Zabraks are the only species that you can use across the board without paying anything at all.
That's probably why I see so many Zabraks when I'm playing.
Probably. I mean, my Sith Inquisitor's a Zabrak, so... And with SWTOR, depending on if you're Empire or Republic, determines your skin tone for the Zabraks. So
but that's not canon anymore.
That's not canon or anything like that, yeah. So, like in Empire, you're like the reddish color, like Maul. Where in the Republic side, you're a tannish color, like Bodor, if you ever played Nice Little Republic 2. Or Kef, from Clone Wars. Or Savage Opress, he's also tan.
He's like a green, yellowy color.
He's tan-ish. Kinda. But that's what we got in canon.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
I think that's it for me.
Cool. That's it for me.
Well, thank you all for listening to the Holocron Histories podcast. We'll see you next time.
And may the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon versus Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net. You can also follow us on Twitter at SWHoloHistories and contact us at holocronhistories@gmail.com.